Alrighty, folks, we are 4-0 in our last 4 chairman package picks on my premium site. 2-0 in our last 2 board member tier package picks. And finally, folks, we are 2-0 in our last couple of daily best plays as well. And the only way to get access to all of those picks here today is to join my full access, all-inclusive chairman membership. I currently have over 1,245 members who are signed up and active on my premium site right now. And I'll explain a little bit more about all that in just a moment. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today for Friday, February 23rd, 2024. Happy Friday to you. Weekend's finally here. And of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. And if you want to see which one of these free picks on this video that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive chairman package. Chairman members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on the free video and what I do on my premium site. Well, what I do here on the free video is I'll handicap the entire slate of games or most of the games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on my premium site is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I actually like the best. Now, if you don't need access to every single one of my premium plays, but maybe you could use like one a day, you may want to think about signing up for my daily best play. That package gives you one premium selection of mine every single day for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. I'm 2-0 my last 2 daily best plays, 2-0 my last 2 board member tier package picks, and finally, folks, once again, I'm 4-0 my last 4 chairman package picks, and the good news is we have plays going off in all of those packages here today. And if you want to join the 1,245 plus members who are signed up on my premium page, the site is patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Cavs Sixers 7:30 Eastern tip-off. Cleveland is -3.5, totals 228. Now, for those who don't know, the Cavs are in second place in the Eastern Conference right now. They're 36-18 on the year, and they're the toughest team to score against in the East. They're allowing fewer points per contest than any other organization in the Eastern Conference right now. And no real surprise here, they're in the top 3 in the entire league in defensive free... let's try that again. They are in the top 3 in the entire league in defensive field goal percentage. Evan Mobley's leading the roster in blocks per game. Wow, we're having a tough time talking. So excited. It's Friday. Got a lot of games. Been dishing out a lot of winners recently, so that's why I'm so excited right now. So let's try that once again. Should start editing the videos so you don't have to listen to me stumble through these, but I actually don't want to do that. I'm not interested. So anyway, we're talking about Evan Mobley. Decent player. He's leading the roster in blocks per game. Now, Mobley's also averaging double-digit boards per contest as well, and that's what I tried to say this entire time. And speaking of rebounds, Jarrett Allen, he's leading the roster in rebounds per game. He's got a bunch of steals on the season as well. They're facing a struggling Sixers squad who lost 7 out of their last 10, and they've certainly had a tough time covering the number during that time frame. Out of those 10 ball games I just mentioned, Philly covered the point spread in only 30% of those contests. For some reason, these guys are having a tough time shooting the long ball in the Wells Fargo Center. Philly's in the bottom 10 in the league in offensive three-point percentage at home. Now, injury-wise, Covington and Embiid are still out for the Sixers. Donovan Mitchell has the sniffles for Cleveland. Keep an eye on him. The Cavs saw overs recently against the likes of the Magic, Kings, and this very Sixers team. And as a matter of fact, the over cashed in 6 out of their last 10 gatherings with Philadelphia. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Now, the Sixers saw overs recently against the likes of the Hawks, Nets, and Jazz. Give me Cleveland -3.5, over 228. Next game, Raptors-Hawks, 7:30 p.m. East. Atlanta's -7, totals 245. And even though the Hawks are favored by a couple of buckets at home here, I do have concerns about their defensive effort. The Hawks currently have a losing record at home, and they're allowing more points a game in their own building than any other roster in the league. No real surprise here, folks. Atlanta's opponents are shooting 51% from the field in the State Farm Arena. And unfortunately for them, well, the road is pretty much the only place Toronto can score. The Raptors are currently in the top 5 in the East in three-point shooting away from home. And of course, in turn, Toronto's a top 10 road scoring team in the entire league. RJ Barrett averages 20 points a game and makes 54% of his field goals. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Quickly, he's knocking down 41% of his attempts from downtown. Now, injury-wise, Matthews, Capella, and Griffin are questionable for Atlanta. Goye and Okongwu are inactive. The Hawks went 60% to the over in their last 10. They're also 64% to the over in their own arena. Now, Toronto has gone 19-9 to the over in their travels this year. Give me the Raptors +7 over 245. Next contest, Clippers, Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. The LA Clippers are -9, totals 223.5. And as bad as Memphis is, well, the Clippers really haven't been great at covering the point spread recently. LA failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5. And they do play their worst basketball on the road. As a matter of fact, the Clippers are playing just .500 basketball in their in-conference road games. And a lot of that is due to some slow starts. The Clippers are currently a bottom 10 point-producing team in the first quarter. And unfortunately for them, the Grizzlies play some pretty tough defense in the FedEx Forum. They're actually in the top 10 in the entire league in defensive points per game at home. Meanwhile, late in games, these guys really do put down the clamps. They're in the top 3 in the NBA in fourth quarter points allowed. Now, injury-wise, Smart, Clark, and Bain are still out for Memphis. When it comes to the total, the Grizzlies are 19-8 to the under in their own arena. Now, 6 out of the Clippers' last 10 ball games fell under the total themselves. Give me the Grizzlies +9, under 223.5. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Heat Pelicans, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. New Orleans is -3, totals 222.5. Now, the Red Hot Pels won their last 4 straight, 8-1 straight up in their last 9. When it comes to rebounding the basketball, there's not many clubs in the West that are better than these guys. New Orleans is actually in the top 10 in the entire league in rebounds per game. Jonas Valanciunas, he's leading the charge with double-digit boards a night, 57% shooting from the field on offense. Meanwhile, Zion Williamson, second on the roster in rebounding, first in points. And they're facing a Miami squad who's having a tough time getting on the scoreboard this year, especially on the road. The Heat's in the bottom 3 in the NBA in road point production. And out of 17 contests against the West this year, the Heat's currently got themselves a losing win-loss record. Now, injury-wise, Rozier and Richardson are out. Butler and Hero are questionable. Meanwhile, for the Pels, on the other side of things, Brandon Ingram's day-to-day with the flu. Keep an eye on him. Now, the Pels went 60% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Miami, on the other side, they saw every one of their out-of-conference road games stay under the total this year except for one. Give me the Pelicans -3, under 222.5. Next game, Suns, Rockets, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Phoenix is -3, totals 231. And despite a tough loss to Dallas just last night, I do really look for Phoenix to bounce back in this spot here. You know, despite that loss, they still got the W in 7 out of their last 10. And they covered the point spread in 70% of those outings. And out of their last 10 gatherings with Houston, the Suns have really had a lot of success scoring. They averaged over 122 points a game during that head-to-head stretch. Now, as far as this season, well, it's Kevin Durant who scores a team-high 28 points per contest, 43% shooting from beyond the arc for KD. Meanwhile, Devin Booker, he's dropping over 27.5 points per contest himself. And out of the Rockets' last 7 contests this season on the other side of things, they took the loss in all of those ball games except for one. Now, when it comes to offensive production, there's not many teams in the Western Conference more inept than these guys. Houston's in the bottom 5 in the West in field goals made per game. No real shock here. They're also in the bottom 5 in the entire league in shooting the 3-ball. Now, injury-wise, Bradley Beal is questionable for the Suns. Lee's still out. Meanwhile, for Houston on the other side, Tari Eason's still inactive for them. 5 out of Houston's last 9 did fall under the line. They're also 61% to the under in their in-conference home games. Now, Phoenix on the other side, they went 11-5 to the under against the West on the road. Give me Phoenix -3, under 231. Next matchup, Wizards Thunder, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. OKC's -15.5, totals 241. And if you're concerned about OKC covering this number here, well, they certainly have the firepower offensively to do it. They lead the NBA in shooting from beyond the arc. They're also shooting a league-best 83% from the foul line. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's making 88% of his free throws, club leader in scoring. Meanwhile, Jalen Williams, he's drilling over 45% of his attempts from downtown. Now, they're facing a horrible Wizards club who lost their last 9 straight, and they gave up a lot of points in the process. These guys are dead last in points allowed per contest. They're also the worst defensive rebounding team in the entire league as well. Now, the Wizards saw overs recently against the likes of the Nuggets, Pelicans, and Celtics. Meanwhile, OKC's gone 14-5 to the over against their out-of-conference opponents. Give me Oklahoma City -15.5, over 241. Next contest, it is going to be Hornets Warriors. That's going to be a 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Golden State's -13, totals 229. Now, the Warriors really tend to pour it on late offensively. These guys are a top 5 point producing team in the second half. They're also making more 3-pointers a game than any other roster in the West. Steph Curry averages a handful of 3-pointers per game. He's shooting over 42% from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Jonathan Kuminga makes over 53% of his attempts from the field. And they're facing a Charlotte club who struggles slowing anybody down on D. These guys are in the bottom 3 in defensive field goal percentage. They're also letting their opponents make nearly 40% of their 3-pointers against them as well. And out of 26 ball games away from the Spectrum Center this year, the Hornets took the loss in all of those contests except for 6. Now, injury-wise, Bertans and Ball are questionable for the Hornets. Mark Williams is still out. Meanwhile, for Golden State on the other side, Gary Payton's day-to-day for them. Now, the Warriors saw overs recently against the likes of Utah, the Clippers, and Atlanta. They're also 62% to the over in the Chase Center. Meanwhile, Charlotte, they've gone 13-8 to the over in their out-of-conference ball games. Give me Golden State -13, over 229. Next matchup, Nuggets Blazers, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Devers -9.5, totals 219 and a hook. And even though this is a big number, the Nuggets have been tough to score against on the road. They're in the top 3 in the West in points allowed per game while traveling. When it comes to grabbing rebounds, this is also a top 5 defensive rebounding team in the West as well. Nikola Jokic, he's 4th in the NBA in rebounds, 1st on the roster in points. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray's 2nd on the roster in scoring, 40% shooting from 3-land. Now, they're facing a Blazers team on the other side who's on a 6-game skid, and they're certainly not built for a track meet. Portland's currently the worst field goal shooting team in the NBA. They're also averaging fewer second-half points per contest than any other roster except for one. Now, injury-wise, Brogdon, Brown, Sharp, Henderson, and Rupert, they're all out for Portland. Jabari Walker's questionable with an ankle. Meanwhile, for Denver on the other side, KCP's questionable for them. Hunter Tyson's day-to-day. 7 out of the Nuggets' last 10 ball games fell under the total. They're also 11-4 to the under in their in-conference road games. Now, Portland saw unders recently against the likes of the Pelicans, Bucks, and Bulls. Give me Denver -9.5, under 219 and a hook. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Spurs-Lakers game, 10:30 Eastern start time. The Lakers are -10, totals 237. Now, the Lakers got the W in 6 out of their last 8 contests, and they've had little problems on offense during that stretch. LA's currently in the top 3 in the West in shooting from the field at home. And speaking of those home games, the Lakers are 20-9 this year in the Crypt. Anthony Davis leads the program in points per contest, 55% shooting from the field. Meanwhile, LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell, they're knocking down over 40% of their three-pointers collectively. Now, they're facing a Spurs club who dropped 9 out of their last 10, and they've given themselves no chance at getting the W on the road. They're actually just 6-24 in their travels, and they're the worst three-point shooting team on the road in the game. Now, injury-wise, we're looking at Marcus Morris, who's questionable for San Antonio. Wood, Vanderbilt, and Vincent out for the Lakers. LA saw overs recently against the likes of Utah, New Orleans, and Charlotte. And out of their last 10 gatherings with San Antonio, the over cashed in 60% of those meetings. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Now, the Spurs allowed over 118 points per contest during those head-to-head contests I just mentioned. Give me the Lakers -10 over 237. With that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Cavaliers -3.5 over 228. Raptors +7 over 245. I'm 4-0 my last 4 chairman package picks on my premium site. The link is in my bio. Memphis +9 under 223.5. Pelicans -3 under 222 and a hook. Suns -3 under 231. Thunder -15.5 over 241. Warriors -13 over 229. Nuggets -9.5 under 219 and a hook. With my next and final free pick, give me the Lakers -10 over 237. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium site. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrockPage.